Hey guys. You guys
Hello, sweet moves, Alyssa.
Oh goodness. You never know what you're gonna see on here. I think it sounded like Mallory. I don't see her, but it sounded like her voice.
It was me. I'm in the grocery store, but I'm here.
It was down there. Awesome. All right. Well, you guys, thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. And just so you know, I have set up the page. And so if you're not on the page, then that's by accident and you need to let me know, because I think I have everybody on that's supposed to be on. So if you're not, you just need to send me over a message so that I know that. But we're going to go ahead and get started with day 2. I'm just beyond excited. I think that one thing that my goal for this is I've never started a challenge in my network marketing career that every single person that started the challenge finished. Never. It's never happened. And I was on a call not too long ago with an Isagenix mentor, and he said that anytime he does a call, like a challenge call, that really only about 10% ever finish. And I would really love this time for all of you to finish. I mean, we think about what the goal is here. My goal more than anything for you guys is just that you walk away with the skill set that you need to go forward in the business. And so to finish it, all that really needs to happen is that you participate in the calls and that you do 25 opportunity shares. 10, which are 3-way phone calls or face-to-face appointments with your executive, and the other 15 can be on the opportunity shared, on the opportunity calls on Thursday nights or at launch parties, however that works. And so I know that you guys can do that. So I'm excited. I was excited to see your whys, excited to see the level of interest in this program, and actually ready to just dig in. So if you've spent very much time with me, you'll know that I'm very black and white. That I think that the business is super simple, but what clutters the business is our emotions. But we have our emotions harnessed and under control for 10 days. We have a 10-day commitment of that. So it's a little bit of a ready, set, go type of thing. And we're going to dig straight in tonight, and we're going to talk about the 3-way call, because our first goal is to go ahead and start getting those booked. We're going to work more on scripts and verbiage as we go, but it's so interesting because I was working with Anthony Lober. I see Katie on, and I was working with him when we were in Mexico. And it was so interesting because I told Anthony, we just need to do some training calls. And I said, do you need to tell me do I need to tell you what to say in order to get the people on the phone call? And he said, no, you don't need to tell me what to say. And I think that sometimes what happens is we try to overprocess it or overthink it. But really, our goal is just to get 10 people to listen to a training call. And so in order to get them on the phone, you're going to be authentic with them. You're going to say to them, hey, Gina, it's Amy, and I have a huge favor. I'm doing some training, and I need to have 10 people listen to a training call about the products that I use. Would you be willing just to listen? That's what you're going to say. And so that's really what that looks like. And so the first thing that I want you to do today, your challenge is going to be this. I want you to send me the list of the 5 people that you know that you can talk into listening. So tonight before you go to bed, I need you to send me the list of the 5 people that you know that you're going to talk into listening. They are listening for your training purposes. so that we can get real people that ask real questions, because we're going to be working a lot on posting on social media, on connecting, on getting people to ask you, and this is going to happen fast. And so we want to move this training on very quickly. And so my goal really would be for you to get 5 people to listen really in about the next 3 days. But to start with tonight, I want a list of who are those 5 people that are going to be the people you're going to train with. Not doing it's not an option. I mean, here we go. This is the first thing, because the emotion at this point is, who am I going to ask, or what are they going to think, or I have a full-time job, I've got to go to bed, how am I going to do that? But remember, we're not going to deal with any of those things for these 10 days. All I'm asking for is your list of 5 people that might let you practice on them, and you want to send that over. And so let's dig in a little bit to the 3-way phone call. Why do we do them? Why am I so adamant about preaching them over and over again? This is why. 2 reasons. A, my experience with the Monet lady. And if you've done very many back office trainings with me, you'll hear me talk about this a lot. But about a year ago, I wanted to buy Monet. I was having really bad allergies, and my allergist thought that the sulfate in my shampoo could be causing me to have more allergies. So I needed an organic sulfate-free shampoo. So I asked the Monet lady, I asked a girl that I knew that sold Monet if she could tell me about the shampoo. And she said to me, let me send you some videos so you can take a look at it, and then let me get you on the phone with my good friend Kelly. Well, I did not want to talk to her good friend Kelly, because I knew that her good friend Kelly was going to try to get me to sell Monet, was going to try and get me to buy more than what I wanted. All I wanted to know was what was in the product and how much did it cost. That's all I needed to know. And my friend could not answer that question. And then she sent me 3 videos. Hey, take a look at these videos. The videos were about 5 minutes long a piece, and I thought, I do not have time to watch a video. Why can this lady not just tell me about her product? And I was so frustrated that I went to Ross and bought a ginormous thing of organic shampoo. And I would have bought Monet. I was ripe and ready for the picking, but the girl couldn't answer my questions. And so when that happened, it really made me look at, okay, associates need to learn how to share this information, and it needs to be Johnny on the spot. It needs to become second nature. It needs to become comfortable. And that's when I really started adopting the idea of doing these training calls, of almost requiring to do 10. Like if I'm going to coach someone, they have to do 10 training calls with me, or I don't coach them. I'll tell my executives on the phone, that's the first thing I ask, is someone to do 10 training calls with me. If they don't do the 10 training calls with me, or they give me excuses, then I don't coach them. Because that's the foundation, that I have to have that. And so that's why. And this is the second piece of this. And right now I feel a little bit like the Lone Ranger saying it, because I don't hear a lot of other people saying this, but I know, I have a feeling when I verbalize this to you that you're going to relate to what I'm saying. I think that the videos are amazing tools. I think that once I'm interested, if I take a look at the video, it's going to seal the deal. But I was listening to a training this summer by Gary Vaynerchuk, who is very on the cutting edge of social media. And he proposed this question of, why are marketers sending videos to people to try to get them to purchase product when we live in a society that is Netflix driven, DVR driven, Amazon Prime driven? We don't watch commercials in our life. We fast forward them, we never see them. But yet as marketers, we're continuing to send people commercials and think that they're actually going to watch them. And when he said that, it resonated to me so much. It made me go back and think about the Monet thing. I'm like, just tell me what it is and give me a piece of paper that I can read, is what I was thinking. And so for me, I really believe that getting trained can get you in a position that when your coworker says to you, or someone asks you on Facebook, what is this? You can say, do you have 10 minutes? and you can confidently go over the information and then send me a video as the follow-up. I'm talking with Gail Elliott. I know she's on here somewhere, but Gail, we were in another network marketing company. She's super humble, but Gail in that company outproduced some of the top people that are in Isagenix. She outproduced them in the other company. She was a top recruiter in the other company. So she was in the top 2% of the other company, but in the top 1% of the 2% in recruiting. And she has a background in natural health. And literally she said to me, I don't send videos at first. I get them on the phone, because if I get them on the phone, I can recruit them 90% of the time. If I send them a video, I lose them. So that's why I teach the training call. I'm just trying to be relevant with you. I'm trying to be grassroots. So why is it? That's why. Is it a control issue? Absolutely not. I don't want to do calls for you for the rest of my life. What I want to happen is to do 10 calls for you and you to become so sharp at them that you don't need me. Does that make sense? It's like your grandma teaching you how to bake chocolate chip cookies. Like you bake them with her and bake them with her and bake them with her, where now you can bake them without her. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to get the skill duplicated. So that's why. This is what separates the boys from the men. Having the ability to recruit Johnny on the spot. Now, you're going to get the appointment knowing that's why, because you're getting another tool in your tool belt that's going to make you powerful and able to answer questions everywhere you go at all times. Now, what I want to do then is, hold on, I'm going to mute up the line.
I've got to hear her.
So he gets to wait up?
He can wait up, or if...
Okay. As I see my face staring at the thing, that was attractive. Okay, so we're going to talk then a little bit about what does it look like. You're going to get the appointment. Your job is really going to be to get the appointment and then to listen. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to learn from your executive. What you want to remember is the purpose of this three-way call is not to recruit that person. The purpose of that three-way call is for you to sharpen your own skills. Does that make sense? So that you can close people quickly, effectively, Johnny on the spot. You can follow up. So that's the purpose. And so when you book these three-way calls, this should not be I'm in my van, I'm driving my kids to soccer practice, or I'm at the game. This should be a present in the moment. I'm going to spend, if you do 10 calls and they're 15 minutes apiece, that's 150 minutes, you guys. It's less than 3 hours worth of training to have your skills so sharp. You need 3 hours of undivided attention, not where you're cleaning your kitchen with your Bluetooth on, letting your executive recruit. What you want to do, you guys, is, let me see if I can find this and print this out for you, or I'll show this to you guys if I can. What you want to do is, I bet I'm not going to be able to find it right now. I'm not. I'll send it to you. You want to print out the three-way call outline form that is on teamdestinyonline.com. You want to print that out so that you have that, and you're going to follow along with your executive as your executive goes over that. Please do that. Please do it. So print it out and you're going to follow along. Now, what you're going to notice is this is what your executive is doing and this is what you're listening for. Number one, your executive is going to be finding their need. So it might be your Aunt Lucille that you said, will you listen for my training? Your executive's going to say to her, I'm going to treat you just like you're someone that's asked a question. I'm going to try to recruit you because I want Brittany to hear me go over this like I would my best friend that had asked me questions. So that's what it's going to be like. Now, she's going to find her needs, so she's going to ask her questions. It's right on that three-way call outline. She's going to figure out if she needs weight loss, if she needs performance, if she needs energy, and or if she's looking to make extra income. So your executive is going to be asking your prospect those questions. Once she finds her need, then what she's going to do then is she's going to fill the gap. So she's going to figure out what does Isagenix have that's going to fill that need. So she's going to find the need, and then she's going to go to work to explain how to fill the need. Now, and she's going to do that by going over the 5 core products. This might be hard for you. Some of you that have already been in the field working a little bit independently, this might be hard. But what you want to do is you want to do your very, very, very best to not interrupt your executive while your executive is going over the information. Because there is a reason why she's probably not saying something she's saying or is saying something she's saying. And so a lot of times if you'll just wait it out, you're going to find that what your executive, that what you want to say, your executive's going to say, but she's going to say it at a different time. And what you want to remember is that you're learning during this process. And so you're going to go over the core products. If you've already enrolled 10 people, you're probably doing it like this anyway. And so, you're just going to keep doing it how we've always been doing it. But going over the core products, you will notice this is what I want you to listen for. Okay, because this will make you such an amazing recruiter. What you're gonna find is your executive is going to be overcoming objections during the presentation. It is very rare that at the end of my presentation I have objections. Very, 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 very rare. Because I overcome everything that they're objecting to. I've already read all the articles. I already know that the article said that our sugar was high and that the cleanse was a diuretic and that it tasted bad and people were so hungry and they gained their weight back. I already know all of that negative stuff that are in the reviews. So I already know what the objectives are. I already know the basis of where people came up with those things. So during my presentation, I'm overcoming that, because if I can overcome the objection before the prospect asks me the question, then it's like Amy 1, prospect 0, if that makes sense. So it's intentional and on purpose. And so you've got to listen for that. So what are those objections that they're trying to overcome? The first core product, almost everybody's always going to talk about is the shake. So the objections, your executive is going to overcome the taste. I always say, I made it with almond milk. I thought it tastes like Sonic. I had never had a shake that I liked before. Whenever Hillary told me that it was a shake, I said, oh no, that's never going to work for me. She's going to overcome will overcome the idea that a shake might not be filling. So they're going to talk about how how I will say, I used to be hungry, so I'd want to eat a brownie too. They're going to overcome the sugars. So people sometimes will say the sugar is really high. And so I'll say, so the sugar is organic and it's from the agave plant. And so it is going to look a little higher, but that's because it is perfect for our bodies and it's a perfect macro meal. And so I'm going to overcome that. Your executive is going to overcome that during that. She's also going to overcome the maintenance. Because people will say all the time, yeah, but what about when it's over? So I always say I've maintained my weight for 5 years. I had never maintained my weight loss before. This has been the easiest thing that I've ever done because my appetite was trained doing this. And it was not a stimulant. So when I got off, it wasn't like I suddenly wasn't stimulating my body anymore. So this is all during the presentation. And so that's what you're listening for. You're listening. It is a sport. It is a tennis match. Like your executives hitting that ball to that prospect and going over those objections on purpose and intentionally. When I talk about the shake, I now talk about the costs right up front. Michelle Concha has a girl on her team that when I asked her what her goal was with Isagenix, she told me that she was spending about $10 a day on food, so her goal was to save money for lunch. I bring that up now in every single conversation I have about the shake, always. So I'll say, And it was so cost effective for me. I talked to a girl the other day that was just telling me that she's doing Isagenix to save money because she was spending $10 a day on lunch. And so for me, it's a very cost effective way for me to get all my macronutrients. So then I just overcame cost right in the middle of the presentation. So the shake is first. You'll also see on the 3-way outline, there's bullets for every product. It's intentional and it's fast. That's why it's not drawn out. So there might be times that you're like, but you could say this and you could say this. Yeah, but we want the call to be about 15 minutes long. And so it's intentional and fast, overcoming the objections on purpose. And when you're listening to your executive, that's what you're listening for. And executives, as you're sharing, make sure you're using that cheat sheet, because sometimes we can get so comfortable we're not using it. But you want to remember that it's so important that you're duplicating your skills. So make sure you're following along and using that cheat sheet. Then I'll talk about the Ionic Supreme. There's not a whole lot to overcome about that. The Cleanse for Life, everyone thinks that they're going to be having diarrhea for 4 days because it says Cleanse for Life. And so I always bring that up. Is not that kind of bathroom. I bring that up during the cleanse so they understand that. There's also an article online that calls it a diuretic. And so as the presenter, your executive is aware of that, and you want to be aware of that so that you hit that head on. It is not a diuretic. Oh my goodness. This is the same type of thing that Native Americans have done for centuries. It's so healthy for your body, so organic and pure. And so you're really overcoming that idea of what people probably have already said online and what they're objecting to in their minds already. And then the next thing that we cover are the vitamins and the product B. Now, at that point, what's going on in people's minds is your executive or you have just went over all of those things. You just went over 5 core products: the shake, the cleanse, the ionics, the vitamins, and the product B. And they're thinking, oh my goodness, I can barely get out the door in the morning, let alone use all those things. So what you'll find is your executive's going to backtrack, and she's going to say, or he's going to say, I know I just went over all that information, but what I want you to know, it is super fast. I wake up in the morning, shoot down my ionics, take a shake. Either right before bed I do my cleanse, or I do a full fasting day of cleanse. So it is the most convenient, easy thing and fast thing I've ever done in my life. And so that's that other objection if they don't want to complicate their lives. So what just happened during that presentation is this. The need of that prospect was found. We had to figure out how Isagenix can fill their gap. And then we went over everything that people would object about those core products. So that happens in about a 10-minute period of time, 10 to 12 minutes. So there's a lot going on in there, and it's very intentional. The other thing that will probably happen is there'll be 2 to 3 sticky products that really relate to that prospect that your executive might talk about. So if the person said, I have arthritis, your executive is probably going to talk about joint support. If the person said, I'm an athlete, you're probably going to hear some mention of the AMP line products. And that's how you're going to pick up on and learn some of those extra products too. And by the time you listen to 10 calls, you're going to be in a really, really good place. Now, and the next thing that happens during the 3-way phone call is that we're going to talk about price point. What I personally do is I talk about the $29. I always say that I was a little bit shocked about the price because I was. When I heard that Isagenix was going to cost me $300 a month, I thought, oh no, it's $300 a month of supplements. But what I was forgetting was that it was meal replacement. I was already spending about $10 a day going out to eat. So basically, I just quit doing that and traded Isagenix. So I cover that. Now, personally, this is opposite of how I've sold in the past. In the past, I've always started with a higher price point. With Isagenix, what I have found very comfortable with the close, if I'm closing, is I will close with the 30-day system. I will tell them everything that's in a 30-day system and how it replaces 68 meals. And then I hop to the President's Pack because I just feel like it's a really easy transition for me where I'm able to say, And here's the 30-day system is within the President's Pack, and the President's Pack is a way better value because you're getting almost $800 worth of product for $559, and that 30-day system is in it. So it really is a lot better value. And so I'll close with that. And for me, all I do is tell them that, and we have a great referral program. If you tell friends about it, you can get money back. So if you told 2 friends about Isagenix tomorrow and they both started on 30-day systems, you would make $150 back in rebates already. So that's really what that looks like. Now, you don't need to remember any of this because this is the deal. You're going to print out that sheet. We went over these notes today. And then what's going to happen is 10 times you're going to get to listen to your executive go over it and over it and over it. And what I believe is this. I believe that there is power in the pattern. I think we try to get things fancy, but there's power in pattern of hearing this over and over again. So 10 times you're going to hear your executive tighten up that sheet, go over that sheet, over and over and over again until you get to the point that literally you can tell your executive story that you're going to begin to spew it out. Now, at the end of that phone conversation, you need to stay on. So you're going to thank your executive. So Julie, if you and I are doing a call and you just happen to be in my left corner, I'm not picking on you. I just see you. If you happen to be doing the call with me and we finish up, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to let Amy go. And I'm going to say bye, great to talk to you. I'm going to suggest that you send them a couple of links. And as that friend, you guys, you need to say this to them. Are you ready? You need to say, thank you so much for listening. So what did you really think about all the information that you heard? You have to say that to them. So thank you for listening. So what did you think about the information that you heard? Because they're going to come back, even though it's a practice call, they're going to come back and they're going to tell you what they thought. And when they tell you what they thought, you might be surprised at the number of people that say they're interested. And then you need to tell your executive, this is what they said they thought. And then your executive is going to help you on the follow-up process. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more tomorrow on the next call. So that's really what that looks like. Okay, questions, anybody?
Hey, if I'm not an executive, but Gail, I do my own calls. So what if I have people under me? Do they need Gail to do it with them? Since I have 10 people under me?
So if you have 10 active people and when I'm saying this stuff to you, how to overcome the objections, if none of it sounds foreign to you, does it also, are you like, yeah, I know that, I know that, I know that. Is that how you feel?
And your boot camp calls taught me that this summer.
Okay. So then, yeah. So what you're going to do, Tammy, is then you're going to go into your team. And I don't want to complicate this at all. But I said the same thing to Mallory today because I've probably done 50 calls with Mallory. I don't need to do any more calls with her. And so I told Mallory that she can do 75 calls through her team instead of 25 personal calls. So she's getting 3 people down in her downline to do this program, and she's doing those calls with them. Does that make sense? It's really 33-way calls, and then she's getting everybody else to get people on the opportunity share Zooms. Did I just confuse you?
No, I think I understand.
So you can do your 3-way calls. You can count the calls you're doing for your team because at this point we're working on wrapping up your executive. Did that just confuse anybody? Okay. If you're at 10 active people, you can pick 3 people on your team and do their 10 3-way calls with them. and then get them to get their additional people on the opportunity Zoom to count for your prize. But if you don't have 10 active people, then I want to be doing those trainings with you or your executive until you get to that place. You guys tell me if that makes sense. Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay. Questions? Anybody else?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So whenever we do our three-way calls with CV, it's a little bit different. It's more of the form, so it's more interpersonal. It doesn't necessarily go through all the products. So she has given us the form that you have talked about now. Do you want her specifically to do the one that you're talking about, or does it matter?
I'm not sure what she's using. But the one thing that you want to, you'll have to see what she wants to use.
Okay.
The thing about this is how I train these guys, the product knowledge, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
They could come in and 10 calls later, it is going to be the rare question that they're not able to answer.
Right. Right.
Because it's very mechanical. So the goal of these isn't necessarily for me to get this deep relationship with that person and get them recruited. The goal more so is for me to train these guys product knowledge so when someone's asking a question, they can answer it.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that helped. You also have to talk to her about, I know she's totally open to doing these three-way calls though, because we've spent a lot of time on the phone talking about it.
Yes, she's actually given it to us at some of our team meetings. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's totally into it. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions, you guys? Okay, so your assignment then is to send me your first 5 people. Who are they? I want to see their names. I want to know who they are. Who are they? Who are those 5 nice people you're going to practice on? I want to see those. Send them to me and also send them to whoever does the calls with you. If I'm the one doing the calls with you, send them to me. If I'm not the one doing the calls with you, then send them to that executive. If you kind of don't really have an executive that's in the field working right now, which I'm seeing some of your names, I know some of you guys don't, then send it to me. I'll do those calls with you because ultimately I just want to help you get trained. So that's really where we want to start. And then tomorrow night we'll have our team Zoom, regular 9 p.m. And we're going to dig in and we're going to talk a little bit about the follow-up process. And then we're going to go back and talk about connecting. Typically, we would have talked about connecting first, but I want to get you guys moving on these calls right now. All right? All right. I'm excited. Okay. Send those names over to me via message. Or actually, you know what? Put them on the wall. Don't put their last name, just their first name. Like Barney, whoever it is. Say, hey, Amy, I listened to the call tonight. Here are my 5 names. And just list out their 5 names. Put them right there on the wall for everyone to see. Habakkuk. All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Amy.
You're welcome. Good night. Bye, everybody.
All right, thanks.